Good morning, it's Monday. Today we're going to start talking about snakes. And this week we're going to focus on snakes and turtles because we live in North Carolina and it's springtime, heading towards summer actually. And what we know is that North Carolina has a lot of turtles and a lot of snakes. In fact, snake bites in North Carolina, they have more of those here than any other state in the United States of America. So it's pretty important that we learn about snakes and their habitats and how they behave, and also about turtles because we see them everywhere. Remember Mr. Watts sent a video last week of the turtle, the big snapping turtle that he saw, and then I sent a picture of the big snapping turtle that Mr. Jory and I saw because they're nesting right now. So you might actually see some of them. This is the time that not only birds nest, but other animals have their babies too. So I'm going to read you a book about the life cycle of a snake today, and it's called Snakelet to Snake. The story of a snake. Baby snakes are called snakelets. Most mother snakes lay eggs, but some give birth to snakelets. So most snakes lay their eggs, but some, the eggs hatch inside their bodies and the snakelets come out alive. That's pretty typical of mammals, but not of reptiles, which is what these animals are. Snakelets look like their parents and quickly grow. Soon, they're old enough to become parents themselves. These mother snakes have snakelets growing inside them. The mothers are pregnant. The amazing story of how a snakelet grows into an adult snake is called a life cycle. We know a lot about life cycles because we've learned a lot about life cycles in school, haven't we? What is a snake? A snake is a kind of reptile. Reptiles have scales on their skin. Most reptiles live on land and lay eggs. Snakes do not have legs or eyelids. They don't have eyelids. They move by slithering. They hunt other animals to eat. The animals they hunt are called prey, and snakes are predators. Crocodiles, lizards, and turtles are also reptiles. The green lizard on this page has spines on its back. It's a reptile. Turtles are reptiles that live in the sea or in rivers or ponds in North Carolina, correct? And those are two things we're going to learn about this week, snakes and turtles. I like both of them. The story begins. The mother snake lays her fertilized eggs. A group of eggs is called a clutch, just like a group of bird eggs is called a clutch. Most snakes do not look after their eggs because their babies are capable of looking after themselves. They're snakelets. However, some snakes build nests for their eggs. They lie on the eggs to keep them warm. Warm eggs hatch sooner than cool ones. A mother python's warm body will help her snakelets grow. So she wraps up around them to incubate the eggs. Grass snakes lay their eggs in warm places, but they do not stay with their eggs. They leave them and slither away. And 10 weeks later, those eggs hatch. Some snakes don't lay eggs. Instead, the snakelets grow inside the mother's body. The snakelets are warm and safe inside their mom. They're safe from other animals that want to eat them. When the snakelets have grown, the mother gives birth. Each snakelet is tiny, but it can look after itself. When a snakelet is born, it's covered in a thin, see-through skin called a membrane. Newborn snakelets flick their tongues to look for food straight away. Snakes smell with their tongues. They don't smell with their noses, they smell with their tongues. When you see a snake flick its tongue, it's because it's smelling, and they have a very good sense of smell. Growing and molting. As a snakelet grows, it loses its skin. This is called molting. New skin has grown under the old skin. A snake is an adult when it's about 2 years old, so 2 years. It takes longer for big snakes to become adults. Snakes grow and molt all their lives. So here's a picture of it losing its skin. Because as it grows, it gets bigger than the skin it already has, and it has to get it off its body, or it'll get too tight. That's how it works. Isn't that interesting? Hunting. Snakes and snakelets hunt other animals to eat. Snakes have sharp fangs in their mouths. Some fangs have venom in them. This is a poison that can kill small animals. Snakelets hunt small animals such as beetles. Snakes are fast and fierce hunters. Some big snakes hold other animals in their coils. They squeeze them to death. Those are called constrictors because they constrict. That means to tighten up. Most snakes live on the ground and in trees. Snakes like to stay warm. When they're warm, they can move quickly to catch prey. Snakes that live in warm places can mate all year long, so they can grow babies all year long. Green snakes can hide in trees. They stay still looking for food. So perfect stillness is how they hunt their prey. If the prey doesn't see them, they can stay perfectly safe. It'll get close enough that they can eat them. Snakes that live in cool places sleep through the winter. In spring, they wake up and mate. The life cycle begins again. Some snakes are difficult to see. Their colors and patterns help them to hide. See that snake? He's camouflaged in the sand, and he's very difficult to see because of his colors. You'll have to be careful when you're in places that there are snakes so you don't step on them. All right. Now, I told you that we live in a place that there are a lot of snakes, and snakes are cold-blooded animals, and cold-blooded means they can't regulate the temperature inside their body. They don't sweat like we do when they get too hot. They don't shiver like we do when they get too cold. They have to stay in a place to warm up or to cool down. So on really hot days, you'll find them in the shade. On really cold days, you'll find them on dark, warm places where the sun is shining, like the road surface, because the road surface is dark and it holds the heat better, and so the snake can warm its body. And when they're cold, they move slower, and when they're warm, they move faster. So that's really important. Okay, your job today is to do your first page for your snake book. You actually have 2 jobs today because you have to have 5 pages and 1 cover when you're done with your snake book. So today you need to make the cover of your snake book and the first page. So you can be anything you want, but remember, first page means first. What makes sense that comes first? Think about some of the things you learned today in our Snakelet to Snake book, and you can include that in your book. And remember, when you do your cover, it has to have a title. It has to have the author, who's you, and it also has to have something that's going to take place in your story, a picture of something. All right, I can't wait to see your work today. Please take a picture of your work, and then when your books are done at the end of this week, you're going to bring them to our superhero party. All right, I love you. Can't wait to see your work.